Rightio, it's episode 15 of the podcast.
What in the El Taco Libre is fucking going on with your head?
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What's in this episode?
Righto. So this episode 15, we have got Failed or Nailed coming back. We've also got a meat stock fire kitchen exclusive. Call us barbecue influencers because someone's taken what we said a little bit too literally and are acting upon it. And we've also got a classic Aussie breakfast reimagined for all you carnivore heads out there. So let's fucking hook in.
I have a feeling this is going to be a very busy edition.
It is. It's going to be jam-packed. You guys wanted to see more. I don't know why. You know, you got to put up with our heads on the screen a bit longer. But, yeah, maybe they're going to want us to keep those masks on.
About the mask, I'm just back from a 4-week holiday. I did USA and Mexico, did a couple of road trips, went to some different places. If I'm going to tap this screen, you might see it keeps changing because I got new stickers. I've been to some cool places while I've been in the States.
You have, mate. And there's a new segment starting. It's called Jay Goes to These Sick Barbecue Restaurants and Sigh Gets a T-shirt.
It was a family holiday, so I really wasn't there to eat, but I snuck a lot of eating in. I went to some pretty cool places, and I thought we'd kick the show off this week. 3 of the favourite things that I ate while I was in the States and Mexico, I ate some pretty cool stuff, I've got to say. Picked out the best 3. This first one is from Luigi's Pizza in Brooklyn. Now, there's a guy called Dave Pinoy. He does pizza reviews called One Bite. He raved about this place. He gave it a really, really high score. So while I was in Brooklyn, I had to go there. I got a few different slices. I think if you want to get a proper pie, you need to order the whole one, and that's how you get the best quality. But I kind of just wanted to try different types, so I got a whole lot of different types of slices. The one on the left, that square-looking one, that's called the grandma pie, and for me, it was life-changing. Now, the best part of this experience is just the atmosphere. It's like this old Italian vibe to it. It's like a 70s sitcom is the way that I'd say it. Now, this lady here, she takes your order. And then the pizza chef, who is running 100 miles an hour, she yells out the order to him of what you've then ordered for her, and he's got to do the math in his head of how much to charge. I'm guessing he's pretty good at maths, and maybe she's not. So he gives her the price and then tells her what to charge, and then she rings it up in a big old cash register. So it's a bit of a well-rehearsed process. She's got to sit there and wait for him to be ready. But it's a bit of a calamity because she gives the wrong change. Luigi here, it's Luigi's son, but his sciatica's playing up. So he often sits down and then stands up when he has to make a pie. The place is packed, it's buzzing, there's people yelling everywhere. It's like, it's the real deal. It's the proper Italian pizza joint out of Brooklyn, and it's packed. You can't get a seat. So I was lucky enough to sit down. I think his name's Gio, but I was lucky enough to sit down with Gio, who's the descendant of Luigi himself, and we had a great chat for like 10, 15 minutes. My wife and daughter were in the background there, but I got to sit down with him and have a bit of a one-on-one. It was a great experience, and it was the best pizza that I had while I was in New York.
She's got to be family, right?
100%.
She stayed in the job. But also, too, like, this would be very nostalgic for me because I'm getting Home Alone vibes here, you know. Macaulay Culkin's just ordered the big pizzas and all the cheese and all that sort of thing. Like, pizza to me never looks and tastes as good as it does on those movies you saw as a kid. Yeah, like there's an opening scene of, I think it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, where when the credits are rolling at the start, it's just a heap of guys passing around these amazing, just big New York's cheesy slices, and it's just like, I've never ever experienced that, but I'm gonna one day.
Well, I think this is the place to head. And we went to some other ones. We went to John's of Bleecker Street, which is also super popular in New York, but Luigi's had it, man. That grandma slice was banging.
It looks bloody good.
So this one was my favourite. Next up, barbecue. We hit a ton of barbecue joints. We went to Austin, San Antonio, Dallas. This was my favourite, Hurtado's. If you've been in barbecue for long enough and you've cooked a lot of barbecue, by now you are sick of brisket. Like, sick of it. Don't want to eat it, don't want to look at it, don't want to cook it. But this made me fall in love with brisket again.
Awesome.
So it's a really cool place. It was pretty packed. They do a bit of a modern take. It's a bit of a Tex-Mex on barbecue. And they were super lovely. As soon as we said we were from Australia, they started bringing out sample dishes of different things that we didn't even order. Couldn't have been nicer people, but essentially the brisket was banging, and that's why it's in my top 3.
I've never seen wedges served with barbecue either.
Okay, so I did post this picture in a Texas barbecue group, and I said, do not shoot me. My 10-year-old ordered these chips, right? But no one gave me any crap for it, which was good. But yeah, that was Press's, my daughter's contribution to our platter.
That's good, because she probably is one that hasn't cooked heaps of brisket, but is probably sick of it.
Okay, and this was the last one. Now, this is a weird one. It was from a burrito place in Tulum in Mexico. It was like a shrimp and cucumber ceviche.
Looks so good. The colour and the depth is just, oh.
It's called shrimp aqua chile. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But the only way I could describe it was that liquid that is in is almost like a Mexican gazpacho. And it had thickness to it. And it was fantastic. I couldn't get enough of it. The wind blew my mind. I can't get it out of my head. That's probably the favourite thing I ate the whole time I was over there.
It just looks good. It just looks fresh. It looks healthy and probably wouldn't do, too good on a hangover if you had to soak up a million beers after being on the beach. But I'm all about that, mate.
There's deceiving there because there was a lot of shrimp or prawns in that dish. There might have been 30 and they were all fantastic. The prawns were cooked fantastically. The whole dish was banging.
Amazing.
Okay. So that's it.
Swag.
Got some swag.
Swag.
So the whole trip was really cool. I got to catch up with Tuffy Stone. I got to catch up with Jess Prowse, a good friend Darren Sutton in Washington, D.C. And yeah, I got to get some merch while I was over there. But the one thing I will say about America right now is it ain't cheap.
Nothing's cheap.
Our conversion rate is rubbish and everything in America seems to be very expensive these days. So yeah, I'm broke.
And one thing I've learnt witnessing all the stuff you've brought back, we're going to have to start levelling up our merch offerings too because it's all quality over there.
Nothing's cheap. Those hats aren't cheap, but they're real quality. A lot different to what we're doing here in Australia. So that's it. Enough about my trip. Let's get into the show.
Yeah. Let's check out what the rest of the world got up to while you were over gallivanting. I'm sure that being the festive season, everyone had a couple of these. So it's fuck up of the week.
It's fuck up of the week. And before we get started, do us a favour. This is your opportunity. If you like what we do and you like the show, give us a like right now. And then throughout the show, leave comments. Like as you go, as you're listening to stuff, if we say something silly or you've got an opinion on something, just chuck it in the comments. And both of those things really help us get the word out there about the show.
Yeah, correct our grammar, correct our misinterpretation and mispronunciation of things.
Yeah.
And we'll shed some light on the dodgy things we do down under.
And throw your opinion in there. Like we want something to bounce off.
That's it.
Cool. All right, this is the first one here. And what in the crack is happening here? So I'm going to turn this down. This was posted by Bradley Long Johnson, but his real name's Sam Goodwin. And I don't understand what's happening here.
Well, he's just mincing it up, the old carcasses from a good day on the water, just so that he's got some charm or some burley for the next time around. But your lawnmower's for more efficient things than that. Like... Although I suppose you could do a few sessions after this and you'd get free fertiliser. I mean, your neighbours would not be impressed.
So at first I thought this was like blood and bone that you'd throw over a lawn to make your lawn great. But no, I think you're right. I think it's for burley. But the comments were great. I love the comments all the time. Kenny in the comments says, do you do weddings?
He's taking the carnivore dial a bit too literally.
And Danny said, does anyone know how to delete somebody else's account?
The good old Southern Hemisphere corrugated iron put to good use there.
Okay. Now, I want you to watch this one in real time, and as it's playing, I want you to tell me what you think is happening. You got it?
Yes.
Let's go.
It's a funny place to leave that, mate. I get it now.
So at first I thought he was putting these chunks of meat on the ground to use as pillows or something like that, and he was going to have a nap.
A bit of advice for when you're throwing me under the bus. I sent you this.
I forgot. All right, but we have some technology here. We've reversed it, and I think it's even funnier. Let's watch.
Oh. He's probably not angry too because he's like, fuck, I knew I had to clean that up.
So it looks like it's in a butcher shop. It's obviously they've tried to clean the floor and he's gone for a bit of a spill.
It's probably around Christmas time too with all those hams hanging up. So he probably can't afford the time off or even being on his backside. But yeah.
All right, they're our fuck ups of the week. So that brings us to dishes of the week.
Yes.
This is where we get to eat vicariously through the screen.
Is this all supplied by you?
No. So these are some ones that I've just randomly found on the internet. What do you you make of this one?
Oh, that is just that's that grandma slice that you talked about elevated, I think. Like, I love it when you see pizza, you know, it's been cooked at the right temp, when you see the pepperoni cups curl up like that. That to me would be a perfect slice.
It looks banging. It was posted on Reddit by Not Feeling So Well, that's his name, and it was titled, "Is Detroit Pizza Still Cool? If it looks like this, fuck yeah, it's still cool." I mean, that's crispy edges, sauce on top. It looks like a bit of a garlic tomato sauce with parmesan pepperoni. There's cheese under the sauce. It looks banging to me.
If it wasn't cool, it is now.
My only thing is, pizza like this is super heavy. You can't eat a lot of it. If you eat a few slices, you kind of feel like you're a full-term mother.
Just go for a jog, mate.
Well, I'm all about this. This is great.
Yeah, I'd happily devour that, not share it at all.
I think I'd go to Detroit just to have this.
Find out where Not Feeling So Well's from, mate. You might not have to go that far.
Okay, next. This is posted on Reddit by Streets, and it's a giant Yorkshire pudding with mashed potato, honey roasted carrots, peas. I couldn't be bothered to cook a roast, so he just topped it with sliced sirloin steak.
You had me at Yorkshire pudding.
It's banging, isn't it?
It's so good. I lived in Yorkshire for about 8 months, about 15 years ago when I first moved to the UK, right up in the hills there. I'm talking Yorkshire pudding 3 to 4 nights a week.
You loved it that much?
Well, I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and her family was just, it's their mashed potatoes, basically. The secret they taught me was they make their batter the day before, the night before. It splits in the fridge, then you remix it before you pour it into the hot pan full of the fat, and it's just amazing.
Damn. Okay, you've got me sold. They eventually topped it with a homemade rosemary-infused gravy.
Sounds bloody good. Probably had it with a proper cup of tea.
That's banging, though.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Definitely looks better than the last British roast we featured.
So on that British roast we featured, that's got 2 million views now.
Yeah, and there's some arguments happening in the comments too, which is good. But the only negativity is people are fighting over, apparently it was an Irish man that posted it, and all the Brits are getting up in arms saying, bullshit, this is Irish cuisine, not British cuisine.
I love it.
Could be.
Okay, this is a win. Failed or nailed. So this is a fun segment. This is where I put you on the spot, and I put you on the spot a lot. You've got to give me your instant reaction to what it is, and then I'm going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, and usually I'm basing just off the photo, not the potential taste. Like there was some last time where I said it was a fail purely because it looked shit. When you then describe what it is, yeah, it probably tastes good, but we're going about the visual appeal.
Okay.
Fucking failed. Fucking nailed.
Nailed?
Yeah.
Is it a piece of fish?
No, it's a rack of ribs,
It
mate.
is a rack of ribs. So this was posted on a group called White People Making White People Food. It looks like fried pork ribs. It looks a bit like KFC, the batter.
It does, and you'd hope they've probably pre-cooked the ribs, I think.
I'm going to say they smoke them first.
That coating's not burnt, so that hasn't spent that long in the fryer, which isn't long enough for pork to cook through.
No. So I'm guessing they smoke them in a smoker first, then batter them, and then put them in a deep fryer. I think we should try to make these.
Let's do it.
Maybe in a couple episodes we'll give them a crack. It's got me interested.
Yeah, let's make them full barbecue and cook them in nothing but a big pot of tallow.
Ooh, okay. So if you'd like to see us cook this on the show, just let us know in the comments.
Let's go.
All right. Next up. This one was posted by Greg Wilson.
I'm going to say nailed because I actually sent you this. I actually want to know if it works. So tell me what it is.
So this is a container of water that he put in a smoker. He smoked it for about 4 hours. Apparently, he's going to make ice cubes out of it. He said he poured some of the water into his glass and mixed it with some Crown Royal, and it was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got yourself a cheap whiskey and you want it to have a bit of a smoky texture about it, I mean, I'm not a whiskey drinker by any means, but yeah, I'm interested to know if you can smoke water.
Do you reckon it would work as a brine for chicken?
It'd be bland.
Better if you seasoned it, maybe. That smoky flavour. Do you reckon it'd infuse into the chicken?
I reckon I've got a better way to get smoky flavoured water, mate. You just empty one of those fancy things with the hose in the front and see if you can't freeze that.
All right, next.
Oh, dear.
This one was posted by Cowboy Paint Online, and it's a duck. And he said, I got it from the live poultry place down the road. They killed it and cleaned it for me, but it still has these small feathers on it, and I'm trying to pluck them, but it's driving me crazy and taking forever.
Probably just needs to hit it with some boiling water to try and make it a bit easier, but got a discount.
I reckon this thing, if it tried hard enough, could probably still fly.
I don't know, mate. There's not much in the engine room there.
You know what this looks like to me?
Don't say it.
A pizza for dinner.
Yes.
I would give up at this point. Those hairy, plucky things, feathers would just turn me straight off and I'd be on to pizza for dinner.
Yes.
All right. Moving on, I've got some mail.
Sick.
I don't know if you've fucked up here or you're a genius.
Well, I haven't fucked up. Potentially the guy that's going to attempt it probably will fuck up.
So a few episodes ago, we did a bit of a spiel on Wayne Dill, who built a tank. And after he built that tank, I asked you to guess what he built after that, and you guessed a helicopter. But in reality, he made a train.
He did, and he's heeded the call, and he's accepted the challenge, and he's going to create Black Hawk Down, as he calls it, but I really hope it's better than these drawings.
Yes. He said he watched the episode, and he told me after he watched it, he goes, Sigh's onto something.
There's also a reason I do his illustrations.
Yeah. But, you've got to start somewhere. This is a napkin drawing.
You do. I love the fact that he's even gone to the trouble, though, of putting the actual measurements not to scale in there, but he's probably the type of guy that's got it all worked out in his head.
Yep.
And if this is Wayne in the front, that's going to be a fucking big smoker because he's a large human.
I can't remember what he told me, but I think he's putting like a chicken in there or something like that, like a real chicken.
Love it.
So he stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning. He's got a mate that works at an actual helicopter parts company that's going to help him with parts so that it looks legitimate, including rotors. And yeah, you've convinced him to build a helicopter.
Do you reckon you could almost wire it up so that you could maybe do a bit of a heat exchange to go up to the rotor and you could almost have a steam-powered rotor? There's another idea for you, Wayne.
You can't just keep feeding this guy ideas because he's going to fucking do it.
I'm going to feed him till the cows come home, mate, because I want to see this stuff.
So he's apparently going to sit down with someone this week and do the CAD drawings up. He's also going to rivet it all so it looks like a proper helicopter. He said he's never been more excited in his life.
He's got really good Wi-Fi signal on his firebox there too.
He does, yes. So I said, what's the name for this thing? He doesn't know. So he said to us, could we please, with our 7 followers, come up with a name for this helicopter? So if you've got a good name or you know of a name that would work for this barbecue helicopter, hit us up in the comments.
Bloody oath.
I couldn't think of anything. Bark Hawk Down? No, I couldn't. We need better ideas than that.
Yeah, we do. The more punny and dad joke related, the better.
All right, so this is it. Black Hawk helicopter. Okay, products. Let's move on. There's some new products out now. A little bit of an exclusive. It's come out a few days after we're filming this, but this is Jess Prowls' new rub out. It's called Meaty Mite.
Yeah, and it's awesome. It tastes bloody good just with the finger dipped in. Yeah, we're going to find out a little bit later on how it goes on more than just popcorn and things like that, but I love it. I mean, the flavour profile for me, you not only got that umami of the mite going on in there, but there was heaps of butteriness in there too, so.
Yeah, so if you're in Australia, Vegemite's massive. If you're in the UK, is it Marmite?
Marmite.
And New Zealand is?
Marmite also,
Marmite
but they've
also
got their own factory that makes their own variant.
Okay. In our part of the world, in the UK and New Zealand, this is really big. So this is an Australian exclusive. You're not going to be able to get this in the States.
How do you feel about Promite?
I have tried it, I think, once, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, I loved it. And then Dick Smith tried Aussie Mite, and that wasn't fantastic.
No, but I think whatever Jess has done, I feel like she's nailed it.
She's absolutely nailed it, mate.
So we're going to, like you said before, we're going to cook this later in the episode. So if you want to know what we're going to cook, you're going to have to wait to the end. But I thought originally that I would put it in lasagna because I put Vegemite in lasagna, but we've done something a little bit different.
Yeah, no, we'll hang on to the end of the show to find out that.
So usually all her rubs are Texas-based, but this is a special edition. Okay, next, we've got some new products.
We do, mate. Yeah, by the time this episode comes to air, there should be a pre-order link for our first bit of merch. We've got ourselves some Under Seasoned t-shirts, and we're also going to offer hoodies. So the day I went and consulted the merch guy, it was a cold, shitty, rainy day. So I was like, let's throw some hoodies on there just in case, you know. So yeah, we've got the Under Seasoned logo on the pocket. We've got the Celsius Fahrenheit battle on the back, and yeah, they come on some nice AS colour stonewash tees, and the hoodies come in a nice relaxed black. So yeah, we've got international shipping, all that sort of thing, but we're going to eventually bring out our own rub.
Oh, okay, this is news.
Yeah, so it's going to be called Under Seasoned. It's just going to be an empty container, and every time you cook something and use our rub, it's going to be grossly under seasoned, but yeah.
Empty containers. Good margin in that.
Yeah, mate, real good margin.
All right, but if you want to support the show, you can finally get some merch, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, so all our merch is going to be hand printed by the legends down the road at Black Dog. They're going to fulfill the orders. It's also going to be a bit of a regular thing too. We're going to showcase some artists from around the world in the barbecue scene and plug them through the Doghouse Pizza Co., which will be the platform that's going to run this merch for us. They're going to be epic, mate. All my stuff gets done through Black Dog, so. Cool.
And if you want to be the cool guy at the next festival or your local barbecue joint, then you should be rocking an Under-Seasoned
Well, that's it.
T-shirt.
And I mean, it's not even, you don't even need to like the show. I think it's just a cool design too, so.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. I love it. Okay. And you've also been busy. Art by Sigh. I don't think we've missed an episode where we've featured one of your artworks you've done recently. And this one is a cracker.
Let's go. Oh, the old stitch up this was. So when we had the boys here for our special episodes, they hit me up and said, we want you to do something for the fire kitchen. You know, we thought...
This is Adriano
and Moonshine, yeah. So we went out for pizza. They'd had a few Coronas and spiked lemon, lime and bitters. And Adriano was like, we want to do something for all the guys coming over. We might get some, boiler suits with Velcro name tags and that sort of thing. And then we just might need a logo off you. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Anyway, a few weeks passed. Get a message from our Brazilian friend Adriano. Hey, mate, do you remember our chat the other night? Yeah, bro. Do you? I said, yeah. So anyway, about that artwork, here's what I want. I want Luke and I driving a fire truck and a micro portrait of everyone in attendance, maybe holding something that they're famous for. So this is, mind you, about the 12th of December by this stage. My jaws dropped and I'm like, are you serious, bro? What happened to the Velcro name tags? But anyway, got it done, and this features all our international...
So let me run through them, right? You've got Mike Johnson, who's the World Burger Champion. You've got Tony Ramirez. He's got 1.7 million followers on TikTok. You've got Jared McDonald. He's the World Brisket Champion from the Jack. You've got Al Fragoni. He's also got 1.7 million followers and is probably one of the most well-known live fire chefs and pitmasters.
Well, that's an exclusive too, because this is about the first time we've announced that Al Fragoni's coming and replacing Marcos.
So Marcos had a few issues and couldn't make it out, but we've got a bit of a stud as a replacement, so I'm pretty happy with that.
That's a thoroughbred lineup there, mate.
Al Fragoni. We've got Ernest from Burnt Bean Co., which is the 4th rated best Texas barbecue in Texas. We've got Sam and Shauna from the UK, the Sausage Sensei, Dark Side of the Grill, Luke Moonshine, Daniel Lee from Brazil, and bloody Adriano, who stitched you up.
We'll get him back. But we love Adriano. There's a reason he's called the biggest smile in barbecue, and that's because he's just such a little cutie.
So what are we going to do with this?
I don't know. Should we do merch?
Maybe we should do a T-shirt.
I reckon we should probably at least do posters, and then people could try and get them if they go to all 3 meat stocks, get them signed.
It's a really cool artwork. I'm digging it. I think it's fantastic. So we've really got to figure out to do this. Do you want us to put it on a T-shirt or a poster? Let us know in the comments. But it's just a stellar lineup of cool people.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I was a little bit meat stocked out there for a while because we've been under the hammer getting everything ready. But when I was doing the research for this piece, I actually got really inspired again and excited for the upcoming season, because it was like, wow, I'm probably going to meet all these people. Because when I do the artwork, I don't just copy a picture. Like, I go through their socials, I learn a bit about them, I basically stalk them. Yeah, steal references and that sort of thing. And it's almost like you get to know them in the way you interpret them when you're creating something like this. So,
well, yeah. The likeness is really good. You've done a great job. They all look like who they are.
Well, luckily I've drawn a few of these guys before, so there's a fair bit of copy and pasting.
Cool. All right, you've done awesome. Tattoos. On to that one.
What do you got for me?
This one was sent to us in the DMs. It's from Jonathan James. It's his tattoo, and he says, can I throw my hat in the ring?
You sure can, mate. That's dedication right there. And if you see this guy looking over his shoulder down at his pegs, he's not checking his calves. He's just making sure he's cutting the right bit of meat.
I'm too scared to get one of these tattoos in case I put the things in the wrong spot.
Well, you've got one. We just didn't write what it was.
I know. That's why I left it. I do have one very similar, but I've left the words off it for that very reason.
Different things in different places too, so.
Well, every time I see one of these tattoos get posted on the internet, especially on a butcher's forum, I always see someone go, oh, you've got the round in the wrong spot. The round's around the other side, or whatever it is. So, but hats off. I think this is a fantastic tattoo, and it shows his dedication for barbecue.
He sure does.
Okay, BBQ Backyards. I like this one. This was from Dave Dalp on Facebook. He's from Franklin, North Carolina, and it looks like he's built a concrete pad and then a carport.
He's not driving a car in there up the old bump, but what's more important than a carport? A barbecue port.
Yes. He's put some walls on it, some windows, some doors. He's filled it with a pizza oven. I can see a flat top grill there, also a pellet grill. And from the look of the roof, I think he's given this place a bit of a workout.
He has. I reckon that fan was an afterthought. That's the thing. Heaps of that smoke comes out of the front of those pizza ovens, so you're not going to deter that, but it looks good, mate. If you don't like the look of smoke-stained things, you're probably not interested in barbecue.
That's true. He's also used that plumbing pipe trick on that trestle table there, you know?
Yeah, the old leg extenders.
Yeah, that saves your back, right?
It does, but they're only good when they're on concrete. They're not real good on grass. But yeah, he's got the Blackstone, he's got the GMG, he's got the cast iron. He's cheering.
I think he's done a good job. So it's a solid man cave. It's built for entertaining and feeding people.
Bloody oath it is.
Done well.
One thing I picked up on it, it looks like he's built all those cement slabs in segments. So instead of going for council approval saying I'm building a 6 metre barbecue deck, he just does 2 metres here, 2 metres there, 2 metres there, 2 metres there. Oh, I better put a cover over that.
No one knows.
Better to ask forgiveness than ask permission sometimes.
Okay, moves us on to our bucket list, and it was inspired by a picture that you sent me in our little private chat that we've got going here. What's this?
This is the beautiful snow-capped mountains of Memphis, Tennessee. Well, this one stuck out to me because every time I do a Memphis in May inspired barbecue piece, I like to include the Pyramid of Memphis in there. I didn't know that it snowed that prolifically down there.
No, but it's obviously been a pretty hectic downpour of snow. And I will say this, I'm going to put this on your bucket list for you, on your behalf. I think you really need to see this place. It is one of the most amazing buildings I've ever been in my life. It's phenomenal. It's 500,000 square feet of madness. So it's in Memphis. It was originally a basketball stadium built to resemble a pyramid. Something about the name Memphis derived from Egypt. I don't know much about it, but it's got its own hotel, 103 rooms. It's got an indoor swamp, a bowling alley. That is the tallest freestanding elevator in the USA. And right at the top, it's got an observation deck and there's a huge aquarium up the top. And the pictures just don't do it justice. It's actually embarrassing to show the pictures because this thing is way cooler than what it shows. But yeah, put it on the bucket list. You've got to get to it one day. I would call it, after the Vatican, one of the most impressive man-made buildings I've ever been in my life.
Memphis is definitely on my list of places to go purely with the barbecue scene and that sort of thing, but also too, I love my sport, I love my NBA, and the Memphis Grizzlies is the team I sort of get around a bit at the moment. So yeah, it'd be good to go to this thing and then go watch Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson and then guys do their thing on the court, fill up on some whole hog in between.
Let's put it on the bucket list. I think we need to get over there.
Let's sell some fucking T-shirts.
Buy some T-shirts. I need to take sight of this place. Okay, BBQ Rigs. Now, sometimes we feature some pit builders on the show, but we've got a little bit of a segue and it's called BBQ Rigs. And the reason why we say it like that is because they've got wheels.
Yeah, anything with wheels, we're calling a barbecue rig.
Correct. And this one was sent to us in the DMs by a ton of smoke barbecue.
That is an absolute Aussie classic workhorse right there. The old 1-ton ute. He's made it even cooler.
I think they nicknamed it the 1-tonner because it can carry a ton on the back. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. But this is a very, very sought after model now because, I mean, I think the model dates back to the 70s, this particular one. So that's nearly 50 years old. So you're not just going to find these things getting around. And also the ute is a classic Australian build, you know, short for utility. Yeah, back in the day, this is how tradies got around. Just chucked everything on the back and still got the horsepower up the front to get around and light her up on a Saturday night.
Yeah, so in America, you probably would know the equivalent of this would be at El Camino.
Yes.
So this is a 1977 HX. He spent 2 years fixing it up. And then he met a good friend of ours, Macca, who's got like a leatherworking business based out of Tasmania in Australia. He met Macca. They became good mates. Macca introduced him into barbecue and then he fell in love.
I can see that.
So what he says is hot and fast in the front, low and slow in the back. The barbecue is an old offset smoker that he modified, and a friend of his, Dean at Ace Butchers, gave him the running gear from an old pellet smoker that he had, and he fabricated a bigger hopper that takes 3 bags of pellets, and he's mounted this thing to the back of this ute.
It's such a good working height too, like very happy with that. He's also got heaps of nice stickers on there too, so.
Got a bit of a video of it here.
So sick.
All right, you want to know the best bit about this though?
It does skids.
It does skids. Depending what it's got a 202 in it and it ain't doing any skids. You know, remember the 4-cylinder ones, the 202s?
And all that weight on the back, the wheels are just going to grip instantly. So it's just going to be torque transfer.
So I don't know if it's got a V8 in it, but the best thing about this whole thing is this was a father and son's project. He's got twins. Their names are Xavier and Lachlan. And not only did they help him build this, but they also regularly cook on it with Dad all the time.
Awesome. That's one way to bond.
It's super cool, hey?
Yeah.
We appreciate when people send us in stuff like this because a lot of stuff goes viral on the internet and people send it in to us and say, hey, you should put it on the show. But we're kind of really interested in finding those little bits of like gold that often go unnoticed. And I think this is one of those cool things.
We were looking for the stories and, the community, and we certainly don't want to just be known for picking the low-hanging fruit, that's for sure. So there's heat. Our inboxes are both full of the farmer harvester that's doing the big barbecue. I've had that about 19 times. Also the big barbecue
smoker.
full of the pigs that goes up. Yeah, don't send us that one anymore. But any down-to-earth, pull the heartstring stories you got like this, because these are the memories, mate, like the bonding time with the family, and because we cook and we do what we do because we love it and we just want to share it.
Yeah, and sharing it with your kids is probably the ultimate.
The penultimate for sure.
Okay, on the menu today. So we got Jess Prolls' rub, and I think I said before my original reaction was to do a lasagna because I'm thinking, what am I going to use? I've got to try and cook something in the studio. But then I thought a steak's a lot easier to cook in the studio.
And you got some good steaks too.
Well, I thought I got some picanha, right? Some sliced picanha. And then I rang Cav. And Cav, who distributes it in Australia, he said it goes banging on eggs.
So good.
So what's the combo?
Steak and eggs, bro.
Steak and eggs, bro.
Yeah, and this one will appeal to the trend-setting carnivore diet partakers too, because it's steak, tallow, eggs, and hardcore carnivore.
So the other thing I sort of stumbled across while I was looking at steak and eggs is apparently astronauts and Marines, it's tradition to have steak and eggs before a mission.
Yeah, right. You could almost say that this is rocket science.
All right, let's go through the process here. You're going to talk me through it.
Righto, we're liberally applying the Mediumite hardcore carnivore, giving that a good shake. We're doing the old pat technique, getting both sides. But when we're applying the rub, we realised, I reckon the way that this is emulsifying on the meat, this will be really good for adding to the end cook, when your meat's a bit juicy. And we actually double dipped it. So after the steak's cooked, we added more of the rub. Yeah, then we got the tallow in the pan going on there just to get these eggs nice and fried up. But classically too, we're using the Jess Prolls popularised just keep on turning method. And I'm not going to lie, nearly had a boomer fat fire going on there for a bit if I wasn't paying much attention. But the way that this rub actually almost blackened up a bit too is really appealing. Like
the colour looks great.
The colour on the steak looks great, mate. Yeah, because it's quite a light, creamy looking rub. Like it doesn't resemble Vegemite until it starts cooking.
Okay, so for those watching at home, we didn't really over-season it because we're going to do it twice, right? We're going to season it before.
Under-seasoned.
Oh, it's true. We are going to season it before and we're going to season it after the cook while it's resting. But then we've done some eggs and done a bit of a sprinkle on the eggs as well.
Yeah, so we've added the rub to the eggs based on Cav's market research, and I'm really excited to try this.
The colour looks great.
You hit your eggs just before the white's fully set on the top too, and I reckon that it just combines so well with the cooked egg.
Okay, this is the last bit of the video here. Now, truth be told, we've filmed this entire episode while this has been resting because we can't cook and do the podcast at the same time, but it's had a great rest, so I'm sure it's going to taste great.
Let's go.
All right, so we've got our steak and eggs. Si's going to cut it up, and I've got the little stunt cam here, so hopefully it looks pretty good.
Let's go. There we go.
Oh, I think you've done all right there, buddy.
Done right, eh? Woo!
So the steak was picanha, which is a bit at the top of the rump. Bro, look how much I've got. All right, we ready?
I just realised that chopping board's magnetic.
That's sensational. Woo! I can taste that Mediumite through the meat.
Yeah, the umami's good, man. I reckon it'd be really good to add into a gravy too.
Oh, I reckon there's just a lot of different applications for it. I rate it. It's a winner.
Nailed.
Okay. Let's get on to our Encore. I think that's a win. I'm going to give that a win. I think that flavour profile from the rub just sings on the eggs and the meat.
Next time I'm going way more liberally on that rub.
I reckon you could put it on at the end too. I reckon we could throw it on right now and it'd seep into the meat.
Probably will, off camera.
Okay, so onto the Encore. This is our last part of the episode. I'm going to show you a photo and you've got to make up what the hell's going on.
Let's do it. Fuck yeah. Priorities. Either that or he's driven a long way to pick up that smoker and take it home.
There's no context to this photo. It was posted on Moberg Smoker's Instagram. It had no comments.
What?
It had a few likes, but 0 comments, which was weird. So I couldn't even get a handle of what's going on. It's a motorhome, a bloody big motorhome, and it's towing a trailer with 1,000-gallon, might even be bigger than that, smoker on the back. And I've got no idea why.
And there's more efficient ways to tow. But I reckon the fact that there was no comments comes purely down to jealousy.
It's pretty cool. If you're from Moberg Smokers or you bought this smoker or you towed it, let us know because we're curious to know how this all came about.
I reckon he's just got I reckon he's driven the length of the states to pick up this absolute gem, and he's going to make his way home in the comfort.
Okay, that's it. That's end of the episode. 15 done.
15 done. That's fucking great. Feels good to be back on the horse, mate.
It does. And I've got to say, sometimes it's hard to kind of get warmed up in the studio and get a flow going, but I hope people are enjoying what we're putting together. And if you are, don't forget, smash us with a like and leave some comments. But we're going to keep powering through these things.
Yeah, bloody oath we are. And we want as much input as we can. Don't send us any free shit for a while because we've got a lot of hats and shirts to get through. But keep sending it. It's going to be good.
Keep sending it. Over Christmas, we got quite a few packages and we're going to get through them in future episodes. But we've got a heap of cool merch and some hats and rubs and sauces and a whole heap of stuff.
Yeah, that's it. And also we're creeping up to meat stock season, so we're going to be flooding you guys with awesome content soon.
Yeah, so Meat Stock New Zealand is up first in about 3 weeks from the time that we record this, and it's going to be busy.
Yep, bloody oath. Anyway, see you next Tuesday.
See ya.